Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the new trailer that just came out for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It came out yesterday at the time of me recording this. If you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below. But obviously want to take this video just kind of discussing and, sharing my thoughts about it. Obviously, we already knew Zemo was going to be the main antagonist. Obviously, he's popped up in other trailers, but now we actually see him walking with the purple mask in hand. And I think it's so interesting, the message he's saying that basically we can't allow superheroes to exist. My work isn't finished. I can't leave it left undone, which I think is so fascinating. I mean, to be fair, we understand why he's doing this, what he lost because of superheroes. Because for him, it's like these are too powerful of beings to be left unchecked. Heroes being able to do whatever they want to, people who don't have to adhere to the laws, people with all these powers and stuff like that. Considering, to be fair, he manipulated, the circumstance. Because, it shows you that he kind of doesn't want anyone with powers out and about, because obviously he killed all the other super soldiers in Civil War. So it's like, yeah, because he doesn't want more of them out there. So I'm sure getting Bucky out of the way and Sam is, along the same line. I'm sure more so than anything, he probably wants Bucky dead, because last thing he needs is a super soldier just like running around and, so for him, he began his work by trying to destroy the Avengers because of what they did. But I think for him, it's like in his own twisted mind, he thinks, I'm saving the day. I'm protecting other people so no one else has to go through the tragedy of losing their family like I did. I'm actually doing a service to the world because superheroes have been left unchecked for so long. The Avengers are able to do what they're doing. It's like, well, let's not forget this is post-Endgame, but at the same time, maybe he's thinking it doesn't matter because maybe Sam and because we don't know, maybe like superhero-ness has like run rampant post, it's like, because I'm sure superheroes are being praised like, oh my God, they saved us from Thanos. Like Thanos literally wiped out half the universe and like they saved us. But it's like, oh, they're being praised as heroes again. No, I need to course correct the world, And obviously, it's a personal vendetta for him. But like I said, I think in his own mind, he thinks he feels like, I think justice is on his side, at least enacting his own version of justice. What I thought was really interesting, though, too, is at one point we see, there's a meeting or whatever, and it seems like we see some military people. Well, they don't show anyone's face, but I'm assuming it's the character, one of the last guy that walks up. I'm assuming that's supposed to be Wyatt Russell's character, maybe particularly, because obviously, maybe he's like a military dude, and it's like, and Sam has to pass over the shield to the government, because this is a big thing too. We still don't know where everything and everyone stands post Endgame, considering, hey, the last time Sam and Bucky, they were wanted criminals because of Civil War. Granted, they got blipped out of existence, so we don't know what happened in that 5-year time frame, whether the government was okay. Because Cap wasn't really doing, Steve wasn't really doing the Cap thing, neither was, at least we hear a little bit of what Natasha was up to, but I don't think they, once again, I've only seen the Endgame once when it originally came out, so probably rewatching it, I'll probably pick up on what they were necessarily doing, but they didn't talk about it too much, but it's like where they necessarily stood with the government. Obviously when Thanos was happening, Ross was telling Rhodey to arrest them, so obviously even at that time frame, it's considering everything going on, it's still oh, they're criminals. But like I said, we don't know what changed in that 5-year time gap or subsequently after Endgame, what happened, So it might be a thing of Sam is still technically a wanted criminal, and we can't have a wanted criminal be Captain America. There's other angles to that whole thing too that some people have suggested maybe this could be the angle they take with the story being, well, you're black, so we need that all-American white person to represent, Not saying they are going to down that route, but some people wonder if they do go down that route because, for storytelling purposes and obviously with everything that's going on in the world, that'd be a very poignant way to go about it. But obviously Sam's got the shield, it's a reluctant thing of because, and some people also suggested this, and I think it's an interesting element, is that Captain America as a whole is technically American property. The super soldier serum, what he represented, because remember, he was originally just propaganda for war, just being he was meant to be an actor. He wasn't meant to be an active force in the military, but forever has always probably been oh, he's always legally been American property. So, and there's also a part of me that's wondering, because obviously we know because obviously they make a point of it in Endgame of everyone. Not Endgame, but Far From Home. I don't remember if they included, I don't remember if they included Cap in that. They did, didn't they? Like, of all the people that died. Because part of me was wondering, like, do you think they're pretending that Steve Rogers is still alive? He's just not taking off his helmet, but Wyatt Russell's character is pretending to actually be Steve under there. I'm wondering, or, because, they had that public, like I was suggesting, a public thing about, like, oh, this is the new Captain America, like, the shield being handed over, but, like I said, that was my thought. Like, if it's not that, could it be that they're having him pretend to be Steve? Because I don't remember, like, because in Spider-Man Far From Home, they had that whole thing. I know they know Tony and Vision, but I don't remember if they specifically said that Cap was dead. I think they did. I mean, granted, probably only people who know Cap's circumstances are the Avengers, but still. Because also a big question in this too is, like, who are Sam and Bucky working for? Are they working for the government? I mean, why are they doing that? Maybe it's like a necessary evil, like, oh, we'll work with them if it means getting the job done. Or are they in, like, the more private sector? Obviously, we see them crossing paths with Sharon. Sharon was with the CIA, but I think she kind of left that behind. Did she get fired, I think, in Civil War? And at least obviously she helps them out a little bit in Civil War, so obviously we knew she was going to be in this show, but to see her again, and so it's definitely going to be interesting. I guess this new, like, anarchist group works for Zemo, and they're people who kind of believe the same thing that he does, or maybe they're a separate group that Zemo is just making use of. I mean, to be fair, he is the very behind-the-scenes manipulator. I mean, he manipulated the Avengers to turn against each other in Civil War, so who's to say he doesn't use a pre-existing group? I at the time said I think they look like they were kind of like Crossbone, but I think I was completely wrong about that. But I'm curious to find out about that. But also another aspect to this is the very lethal weapon relationship between Bucky and Sam. We get even more of it, where it seems like they're almost in what it seems like couples therapy, and like the like literal staring contest at the end, and she's like, what do you do? How old are you? So more and more, shenanigans. So that's always a plus. So obviously these are just some of the things kind of going through my mind for what we saw in the trailer, just kind of some thoughts I had. I'd love to get to know yours. What are your thoughts about the trailer? Once again, I think this is kind of a neat thing about the trailer. It's showing you a lot more like action sequences, but not without really giving too much away about the story. I think very much kind of like WandaVision did the same thing. I think we're definitely doing that with this too, of like, letting you know. Obviously, I think it's also to showcase, hey, WandaVision is definitely its own thing. This is very much its own thing, because you can tell tonally and just like with everything going in the trailer, these are two very different shows, and that's what they're more so trying to stress. So I think they're not trying to give you too much story-wise, just because of the whole spy espionage thriller element to it, much like Civil War and Winter Soldier, Captain America movies were. So I think they're just trying to lean in that. But really, that's all I want to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.